I'm Ellis Martin, and this is Money Talk Radio. Join me now for a conversation with James Longshore, the co-founder and CEO of Xtra-Gold Resources Corp, trading as XTG on the Toronto Stock Exchange and in the U.S. on the OTC as XTGRF. Xtra-Gold Resources has a dominant land position in the highly prospective Kibi Greenstone Belt, which represents the last greenstone belt to be drilled and developed in Ghana. The company holds the mineral rights to 5 concessions totaling 226 square kilometers within the Kibi Gold Belt, a Birimian greenstone belt geologically analogous to the neighboring Ashanti Gold Belt, with 140 million ounces of proven gold reserves discovered to date. The company has made a gold discovery on its southernmost property, the Apapam concession. Xtra-Gold is conducting an extensive drill program with the goal of significantly increasing the mineral resource. The company has a strong treasury with over $13 million in cash and liquid assets, with zero debt, and has a contracted alluvial mining project with locals that generates the majority of the funds for exploration activities. Mr. Longshore has been with Xtra-Gold since 2009, overseeing the mining project and exploration activities of the company. James has more than 25 plus years business investment experience in resource companies. James, welcome to the program. It's great to visit with you today.
Happy to be back.
Bring us up to date. You've got some great news out.
On February 26th, I told you we were following up 2 huge gold-bearing structures near our resource of 1.2 million ounces. They're right adjacent, and each structure is about 6 kilometers in length, and we know there's gold bearing. So we did an initial drill pass on either end. On one end, on the east end, we drilled, and on the west end of these structures, we drilled, and we hit some encouraging results. And so we think these structures, hopefully, as we get to understand them, because they are new structures we're drilling, that we can show we're going to the 2 million plus range on our resource. We just need to hit a couple more gold shoots.
So that's 49 drill holes, right?
Yeah, well, probably if you look there, most of the drill holes we're finishing up our resource drilling for the open pit potential just north of these 2 gold bearing structures that we just started drilling. So there's probably about 10 holes in these structures that we drilled, 5 in each. So a lot more drilling. Usually to prove up gold structure for continuity for your viewers, you usually need about 30 drill holes to show continuity with step outs, right? Minimum 20. So you got to hit it and keep hitting it and then show continuity on the grades. So exciting times. The good thing about those structures is they're, like I said, they're both 6 kilometers long. So there's lots of room to find multiple gold shoots on those. And in Ghana, an average 5 million to 10 million ounce mine usually has a gold bearing structures of about 10 kilometers long with multiple shoots along them. The key is finding the structures along those shear zones or gold structures.
I've never been to Ghana, and until we started covering your company just a short while ago, it wasn't necessarily on my map. It's a great jurisdiction. It's a great country to work in. So fill us in on what that's like. I've never been there, and probably many of our listeners haven't.
For people, a lot of times they lump Africa together, but there's over 50 countries in Africa. First of all, we're one of the most stable. It's an ex-British colony. It used to be controlled by the British up until 1957. So we're completely independent now. But the nice thing about what the government did, they inherited the mineral rights, a UK Mineral Act, which is good to protect our mineral rights. So we have 7 major producers in Ghana, and we have 3 of the top 3. So we have Newmont, Goldfields, and Anglo-Ashanti. So a lot of people don't know this, but Ghana is rated as one of the best jurisdictions in the world. Why? Because we have a history of mining that goes back hundreds of years. 2, we have 3 of the big majors in a geographically very small country the size of Oregon. And 3 is we can get a permit to get into production in about 18 months. You can get these mines permitted where, in the rest of the world, sometimes it can take well over 10 years to get a permit to do mine construction. So that's why Ghana is very unique. And that's why people should view Ghana if they're interested in getting a gold position, because we are the last gold belt unexplored in Ghana. So this thing could be a whole new gold camp. We probably rank you can count them in a handful of companies, exploration companies. We're getting in the advanced stage, and anytime you could hit a main gold bearing structure, and this could be world-class deposit.
Give us a little bit of your background, James. Where do you come from?
I grew up in Nova Scotia, and I graduated in economics, not knowing what I was going to do. And when I came back to Toronto looking for a job in the early 1990s, I met some geologists, and I went in from the investment end and started investing in gold exploration companies. In the early 90s, if you were around, we had a great market and had many wins. And then I staked this property. We got into a real bear market from 1996 to 2002. And that's when I staked this asset in Ghana. I didn't plan on running it, but I wanted to add that from my portfolio, running a gold company. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years, is running Xtra-Gold. So that's my main job now. But I do have have a lot of experience from the investment end, and now I have the boots on the ground experience of actually being there every day to day running an operation. So that's a little bit of my background.
So in a completely biased fashion, I'm biased, you're a sponsor of the program, you're the CEO of this company, Xtra-Gold. Tell us why our audience should consider investing.
Well, real quickly, you have a handful of excellent, let's say only a handful of really nice assets in the gold exploration space. So Xtra-Gold's one of a unique few. You have the gold price that's moved significantly from, let's say, 1,100 to almost 2,800. And these stocks haven't moved much. So you have huge opportunity to make 400 or 500% returns in very quick times once a little bit of investment capital flows back into these companies. So I would encourage investors to look at all the nice assets that have nice resources with multi-million ounce potential. And there's not many of us left out there from the last bear market, but Xtra-Gold's in one of them. And what makes us unique is three things. We generate cash flow, so we don't need outside financing. We've had no share dilution since our IPO, so over 15 years of no share dilution. And we also own our own drill rigs, so we've reduced our finding cost per ounce of gold about 80% of our peers. So that's why Xtra-Gold's unique. And we're in a great country, politically stable. And I think physical gold's going to hold here and move higher. So eventually, I think you're going to see a lot of interest in these nice assets where the majors have to actually start looking at partnering and taking over some of us to add to their depleted resources.
James, well done. Thanks so much for visiting with me today. I look forward to catching up with you again in the very near future.
Can't wait. Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with James Longshore, the co-founder and CEO of Xtra-Gold Resources Corp, trading as XTG on the Toronto Stock Exchange and in the U.S. on the OTC as XTGRF. For Money Talk Radio and the Ellis Martin Report, I'm Ellis Martin. Find us at ellis.gold.